It's our birthday. Our anniversary, actually. 50th. 50 shows. 50. We don't even have 50 viewers, do we? I'm not sure, but 50. I'm Rick Zanotti, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, 50. That's 00 Blanchard, Geoff Blanchard.
And they said it wouldn't last.
That's right. The money was against us. But since we make no money, it's okay.
That's right. Yeah, and we just talk about what we want to talk about, so it will keep going on and on and on and on, like we do.
Like it does. And we're back. 50 shows is quite a few shows in a year.
And we started back about this, what's it, September?
No, it was about November. I thought it was around November.
25th of September 2014 was our first show. And I know that because it was the iPhone 6 Plus had been released, and we was lusting about whether we should get that or not. So.
Right.
And we still haven't stopped, I don't think. So.
But we knew better. We would wait for the 6S Plus.
Yes.
And I went and got a Note 5. So much for that.
Yes. Well, I was doing the same thing. I was looking at getting the 6S Plus, but then looking at the price and the difference, I still really can't justify it because I'm still not that unhappy with my Note 4. And I'm thinking, what else could I do different? What else could I do differently?
Yeah,
nothing really. So I'm.
And if you went to the Note 5, you might like the Note 5. It's even nicer.
Yeah, I think I would do. It seems like it's just got that little bit extra.
It does.
Things going with that. And hey, Rick, in our 50 shows, we've actually had also as well, we've had 6 people who've actually given up time to join us as well.
I know. Do you have their names?
Yes, I do. The first one was Tom Sinclair. He joined us on the oh no, that was the guest on the 14th of November. He was our first guest that we had on there.
Guest? The first Screaming Idiot.
Streaming Idiot. And
Idiot.
I still watch. The only thing is well, there's so many nice people around. I just don't find time to keep up with them all. But I like to keep it in contact with all of Tom's shows. Then we also had a voiceover expert that you like with JoJo Jensen.
JoJo, I love JoJo. She's great.
On the 5th of December. And then all of a sudden, I bought on the same day, I bought the Procaster. And of course, you bought it at the same time as well.
A week later.
Then it became Tech Down Over Procaster specials.
Yeah, you have to understand, if you're watching the show, Geoff and I are good friends. We have the same interests in microphones, in video gear, audio gear. We just like all this stuff. So usually we have severe cases of, well, I want what he has.
Yes, that's right.
Because they're all good toys. And we have similar tastes in these things. So, and he bought the Procaster first. And I've had my eye on it for several years and just never bought it. So after he got it, I said, "Well, darn, I need to have it." So I got it.
He's got it. I've got it.
And it was a great microphone.
And that's what I keep trying to point out to people with things like that. Was talking with Gina about e-learning and audio, and he was just saying a cheap microphone. But some people think, say, $179 is not cheap. I do when you start looking at the Neumann for thousands and the high-end ones, but you still got to spend good money to get decent sound. And like we've all said, video you can get away with pretty much anything, but the sound, if people can't hear you clearly, they soon drop off. Like one of my real dislikes, I hate listening to people that sound like they're in the bathroom.
Unless they are.
I want to hate. Well, no, I don't. Then even that's disgusting. So I have one. If it's one rule in my life, it's never ever answer the phone in the bathroom or do. I leave it. I let it ring out. So why didn't you answer? I'm not going to answer that or while I'm driving because I just can't afford the fines.
We have a couple people in our building that you go into the bathroom and you hear them come in, ring, hello, and you just go, oh God. You really want to answer while you're pushing? Gives all new meaning to life. It's just sort of sick.
And moving on for other guests, then we had, of course, we had Gina on our show on the 19th of December, and I went ahead and created a whole new fancy intro, but I never showed it to anybody.
That's right. That's right.
So I did the intro, but I thought, oh, gee, I did really good, but never showed it to anybody. Anyway.
Oh, that's funny. And who doesn't love Gina?
Oh, that's right. Yes, and I think that probably our most viewed show that would have to have been with Gina on it. Maybe it was us watching it a few times as well, so that did increase it. And then, of course, we had on February 2015, on 13th of February 2015, we had Larry Jordan. So that was great to have him. I'd love to get down to Los Angeles, and I'm really trying to get there next year, but I'd love to take him up on his offer and have a tour of his new studio layout.
When you come, let's head up there. That'll be fun.
I was just going to say, if I am, I'm dragging you along with me, so you're definitely coming along with me. But
that'll be fun.
I'm thinking that might be a point of a reason to come anyway. So we'll say catch up with Larry and see his great studios and that. So, and then we had as a surprise guest on the 10th of April, I think was Colleen Sun Lee.
Colleen
joined us as well.
That's correct.
And that was a great show. Made a big difference to the show. I always find it's much easier when you've got somebody else to bounce questions off, because it gets quite interesting shows. And then, of course, I think our last guest was Ronaldo Lawrence on the 21st of August.
He was visiting us live in person, and he did the show with us. He did 2 shows. He did an interview show earlier, and then he did a show with us, and it was a lot of fun. The only problem he had was he had the microphone behind him. So yeah, he was talking like this. So he was talking like this. You can hear me, but not as well.
Oh, okay. Well, it didn't come through too badly. And then I've just got a few little. We said throughout the ones there was constant chat throughout all of the shows about the Panasonic GH4.
Yes.
So we started on that, and we still haven't shut up about it.
No,
because it's such a good camera. We still talk about it every now and then.
It is.
So
and I'm waiting from the rumors have it that it's going to be the GH5, and it will be out sometime either end of first quarter or beginning of second.
Oh.
So sometime March, April timeframe.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to that, because if it's anything like that GH4, that's been such a good camera, and so many people from the 5D have moved across to that, and that's quite strange from a full frame camera. They're going down to the G4. I've done that to G4. It's the GX4.
Hi.
You're by yourself now.
This lens is big.
That's right. That's why you had to get me off the shot so you could fit the lens in.
I mean, this is the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 lens for APS-C sensors, $800, $799.
That's not too bad.
It doesn't have image stabilization, but it's so heavy nothing would shake.
No.
It is one big lens. But so let's go back over here. So this lens on the 7D Mark II is pretty awesome. It's a beautiful lens. The zooming is done inside, so as you move your zoom wheel, nothing moves. The lenses move inside. It's got like 17 elements in this thing, and nine blade, so you get a very nice bokeh, very clean, very very creamy. It's heavy. It's a 2.5 pound lens mixed in with the weight of. So this camera is my weight. I use this for weightlifting practice. It's quite good. It's really quite good. This lens does have very fast autofocus. Let me see if you can hear it. Let's try this, because I have to take the lens cap off.
But the thing is with that, I know you're saying it is heavy, but I find you get the best shots out of those nice heavy equipment because you can hold them so steady, because the weight of them is going to make it a steady camera shot.
Can you hear this?
Yep.
So it's very quick at focus. Anywhere you go. It's got a fast autofocus. Now, It's not as fast as the Micro Four Thirds, but then nothing is.
No.
But it's a beautiful lens. It comes with the lens hood, unlike Canon, the cheap bastards.
Don't they come with a lens hood?
No, they're such cheap jerks. You buy a 2000 lens and you'll get a lens hood. Jeez.
Well, no, I know I've got two of them now because I didn't get. I bought one and got one, and you gave me one because you had one left over. So on my 24 to 105 lens, because it didn't come with one. So
Yeah. So that is the new Sigma that I got this week a couple of days ago. It's 18 to 35 millimeter. You in essence have 3 prime lenses for the price of one: an 18, a 24, and a 35 millimeter prime. If you buy all of those primes individually, you will be spending over $2,000 from Sigma.
Yeah.
But this one by itself is $799 with all 3 of them, and they're all very, very good. So, very nice lens. With this, you don't need any extra primes.
and that works on you can get a Canon mount, can't you, for that?
This is with the Canon mount.
The Canon mount. Oh, is that on the 70? Is it?
That's on the 7D.
Oh,
Yep,
good.
Mark II.
7D. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So
It'll run on the 70D. It is only for APS-C sensors. So it really won't work on a full frame camera, and it won't work. You can get adapters, but you're going to have major cropping. But
looking
beautiful.
at that, some of the reviews you was looking at, it does such an excellent quality, didn't
Yeah,
it?
in fact, let's
charm.
show you something. Let's show you the Sigma review. Here we go.
Okay.
Today, I'm going to show you an incredibly popular lens that's also a world's first.
And if you buy it from B&H Photo Video. They are a great place to buy. I've got many bits of equipment from them.
Even I have over here.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Larry Becker. When photographers start getting into the craft of photography, one of the tools that they use to get a particular look is their lens choice. And wide aperture lenses give photographers very specific artistic control. Wide apertures let in more light, allowing for lower ISO settings and faster shutter speeds. And depending on the subject, they can give photographers a tool for capturing the shallowest depth of field. If you're into lenses, you know that a lens with an aperture that can go as wide as f1.8 is considered a wide aperture lens, and it's often called fast glass. That's because an aperture that wide lets in lots of light and allows for faster shutter speeds. And you also know that if I'm referring to an f1.8 lens, it must be a prime lens. In other words, a lens with a fixed, non-zooming focal length, like a 50mm lens. An f1.8 zoom is unheard of. Until now, you're looking at the...
Now, before I'll go back to him, but I love Larry Becker.
Oh,
He
do
makes
you?
some of the best reviews, and he's really sharp. Here we go.
world's first constant f1.8 zoom lens, the Sigma 18 to 35mm f1.8 DC HSM. The one I tested was a Nikon mount, but it's available for Canon, Sony, Pentax, and Sigma as well. It's officially an 18 to 35mm zoom, but since it's specifically designed for APS-C size sensors, and because the one I tested has a Nikon mount, the 1.5x APS-C crop factor means it has a 27mm to 52.5mm equivalent field of view. Its aperture range stops down to a minimum of f16, so if you need to stop down more than that for long exposures, you'll need an ND filter or a different lens. Finally, the lens has what Sigma calls super multi-layered coating to minimize lens flare and ghosting, and the construction includes 4 aspherical elements and 5 SLD glass elements. That's a lot of tech speak, but these features add up to great image capture quality. In September of 2012, when Sigma announced their new approach to lens manufacturing, they re-evaluated their entire product line with a renewed emphasis on quality, and they've even reissued several lenses. Additionally, they've helped consumers to know which new lenses and reissued lenses have been released since the big change. All the newly released lenses are called Global Vision lenses, and each model falls into one of 3 categories: art, sports, or contemporary. You can read all about the 3 categories on the Sigma website, But this 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 is an art lens, and it seems that Sigma art lenses generally have the widest apertures. A quick note here about all of Sigma's global vision lenses. They're all compatible with Sigma's optional USB lens dock and free lens adjustment software. You can use the dock and free software to customize focus speed and other lens performance characteristics. Also, if there are future firmware updates available for your lens, you'll install those using the dock. What you can adjust will vary from lens to lens, and I didn't do any dock adjustments to this lens. Made in Japan, this is a great quality lens. It's not lightweight or plasticky feeling at all. The travel on the ample zoom and focus rings is first rate, and the build quality feels like one of those top-of-the-line Zeiss lenses. The zoom and focus are both internal, so that you won't see the lens changing length or rotating as you zoom or focus. Like Sigma's Global Vision Art category suggests, you can capture some amazingly artistic images with this lens. The shallow depth of field control I'm used to getting on full-frame cameras was there on an APS-C size sensor. The bokeh, or bokeh depending on how you pronounce it, is smooth and even. The minimum focus distance is rated at 11 inches, and I found I was able to shoot as close as 4.5 inches from the front of my lens and get tack-sharp detail and incredibly shallow depth of field. The 11-inch rating refers to the distance from the sensor, and that means things can be much closer to the front of the lens. I don't do lab-style tests for my reviews, but I try to come up with some real-world usage scenarios. So for geometric distortion tests, I shoot architecture, and my images were geometrically accurate throughout the entire zoom range. I didn't see any distortion near the edges of my images, even on the wide end of the zoom. The Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 captured focus somewhat quickly with no hunting, and I had good luck with focus accuracy even in low light. Now, I was using a Nikon D7100, so it is Nikon's most advanced focus system in an APS-C equipped DSLR. But I was impressed by both the accurate focus performance in low light and the absolute silence of the hypersonic focus motor. Whenever I'm testing gear, I like to shoot camera raw files so that I can see what's going on before any software corrections take place. I noticed a little bit of corner vignetting when I was shooting at 18 millimeters at f1.8, but it's easily correctable with camera raw post-processing. I also noticed a little chromatic aberration at f1.8 with high contrast areas on the 35 millimeter end of the zoom range. But again, each of these was relatively minor and easily corrected during camera raw processing. When it comes to color accuracy and image detail throughout the frame, I can honestly say I was pleasantly surprised. It's like having a collection of prime lenses from 27 millimeters to 52.5 millimeters and everything in between. I'm just not used to this kind of wide aperture quality and performance from a zoom lens. When I bought my first full frame camera, it was because I just couldn't get the images I wanted out of an APS-C size sensor. But with lens options like this Sigma Art 18 to 35 millimeter f1.8 DC HSM lens, I think I could have pushed my crop sensor camera a lot further. If you're an artistic photographer and you need something in this focal length for your APS-C DSLR, especially if you've been looking at fast prime lenses, this zoom lens is more versatile than a prime, and both image capture and build quality are first class. For B&H and Kelby One, I'm Larry Becker. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
And he's gone, and Geoff is back.
Yes.
I guess we lost you about 3/4 of that.
Well, what it did was when I was watching the review, it said Skype had sort of got overloaded with the signal and said, I've lost as much memory, I can't take any more. And it locked my whole system.
Wow.
So it's on a different computer than it was before. Like that was on the MacBook Pro. This is on the desktop, but it crashed my whole system. So I don't know whether it was watching that review because it said click here to resume, and I resumed a couple of times, got a little bit through it, but then it threw me out totally, and I had to reset. So I've just ditched my Wirecast and just straight through the camera now. So.
Oh, okay. So that is the joy of Skype sometimes, or,
Yes, that's right.
bandwidth.
But it's
So
least wiki.
you can go back and look at the show. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's make everybody watch that again. I'm just kidding. You can watch that later on the show. It's a very good review by Larry Becker, who does the work with Kelby One and for B&H. B&H Photo Video. It's a great place to go. Now, I have to admit, I bought mine from Sammy's Video, but I buy a lot of stuff from B&H as well. And if you do buy from Sammy's Video, go see Larry Leyretana, Leyretana, Larry Leyretana. Ask for him in video.
And you can see how good they are because I live all the way over here in Australia, and I've bought things off B&H and also off not Larry himself, but I've been down there and bought them off the same store anyway. So it's on Sammy's. It's a good store to go around, and it's very hard to come out of there without buying something or wanting to. You sometimes have to have somebody to drag you out.
You know what's really bad?
It's a good shop.
I go there with my wife. She usually drives, and she goes, "You're spending more money. You're always spending money. You don't need another lens. Why are we going to Sammy's? Why? Then we get to Sammy's. Look, Rick, do you want one of these? Oh, look at this. look at this bag. Can I have one of these?
Yeah.
You don't have a camera. I don't care. I want one. All right, sure. And what about this? Let's buy another camera.
So
I never argue with her there.
You go the Santa Barbara one. They moved that recently. I've only seen the old one. Is that an
they
improvement?
moved?
The new store? Yes,
I have not been to the new store.
Well, yeah, because the last time I went down there was just about to move their store to a bigger premises, and that down in Santa Barbara. So
I did not know that. Oh, so I have to find out where they are. I'll have to take Leslie with me there. No, we're not going to Sammy's. No. Do you want one of these?
I
haven't figured that one out.
When you go
and then, of course, when we get home, do you know how much money you spent? Do you know how much you know, it's always, it doesn't bother me because while we're there, good stuff happens.
Well, that's right, and you need encouragement there. That's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing that helps me a little bit here to stop spending money. There's nobody here saying, "Go on."
If you and I ever go to Sammy's, it's a bad thing.
That's right.
It's not going to be good. Yeah, and with Leslie, if you and I go with Leslie, you'll go home broke, and we will too. So funny. Hey, you went to see the digital video show.
Well, that's right. Here we had the called the digital show, and it's ported to be the biggest event of its type in the Southern Hemisphere. But sometimes there's not a lot of things in the Southern Hemisphere, so that's not that big claim to fame, I don't think. But I went to it a few years back, and this year, but I was a little bit disappointed. But I did put a little video together, so you might want to play that and just see.
Okay, here we go. You were playing that live while you recorded, right?
That's right, yes. A bit loud.
Did you create the music for this?
No.
Okay.
Well, that was a digital show this year. I was a bit disappointed that there was not a Canon or a Panasonic stand to be seen. I did, however, see a Canon 5D and a Canon C300 stuck in a display cabinet, tucked into a corner. Olympus and Nikon seem to have been the main sponsors of the show. Plenty of lights to look at. My main interest were the LEDs that Aperture had to offer. Lots of tripods. They had a good range of the Enduro brand. I wanted one to match my Enduro hi-hat. I found a nice one, but the $1,300 price tag scared me off a bit. But they are a very nice, strong and sturdy tripod. A company called Protog had a cantilever slider that looked good. Covers a lot of space with not too much to carry round. I do have a Canovo slider, but it's too big and heavy to carry around for everyday use. This I could see myself using. Even Manfrotto had a range of tripod sliders there. There was a Ronin M 3-axis gimbal on display, with no camera on it, which to say the least looked very strange. But I did get the chance to touch it and hold it, but it would have been much better if it had a camera on it. I did fall in love with a couple of external monitors. They claim to be great for outdoor use in direct sunlight. One had the option to close it to become an electronic viewfinder. Well, that's... I will leave you now with some footage of the area outside the Melbourne Exhibition Centre.
And he's back. And you know,
Yeah.
this is hard what he just did. He changed shirts from that thing to this one. Right in between. That takes a lot of work.
That I should have wore the same shirt.
You got that Wonder Woman thing going where you can spin really quickly and you change?
That's right, yes. Who can beat Linda Carter? I can never forget her name, Linda Carter.
Linda Carter. She was gorgeous. She's still pretty attractive.
I can't even think what she looks like normally. All I just see is Wonder Woman, because the costume just made it, didn't it? So
she was in a show. I think it was called Hawkeye. It was good. She was in that one too. She ran the Fort store or something like that back in the in the Old West. She was very attractive. She was a Miss America.
Was she? Oh,
she was.
Like she would definitely do that because she's a lovely looking woman.
I think she's almost. I think she's near 6 feet tall.
Yeah, she's a lovely lady. So that was the digital show for this year, anyway. So I think they've come to a conclusion that they haven't got enough to do it each year, so it's going to be biannually now. So it'll be every second year. So, but it wasn't too bad. I got a bit out of it. But it's when you start looking at things like NAB, where they've got tons and tons of things you'll never want, but you still like to look at. Right. It makes a big difference. But a lot of these, I suppose, it did have a lot. Just the standard sort of consumer things, but as I said, they had that Ronin 3-axis gimbal, but didn't even have a darn camera on it, which I thought, well, that's the whole point to sell it. You would at least put one camera on. It doesn't matter what it is, just a cheapie, just to show what it does. So
why do you think Canon and Panasonic weren't there?
Yeah, I don't know, because I know years gone they've been there. The Canon was one side and the Nikon was the other side, and they had like castles with all the lenses showing and all the Panasonics there, but maybe they thought they didn't get too much out of it. Maybe they're selling enough and don't need to waste the money. That's all I'm thinking. But some of those little things that were sort of like those monitors, I thought they were fantastic to use, but they're sort of starting off around about that $1,800 mark, so there should be excellent little... Yes, the little ones.
You want to show those? Do we have a video of those? Oh, we have a video. Do you want to show one?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, which monitor is this one?
That's the small HD. It's called.
It almost looks like a transformer.
But that one goes round about the 1,825 Australian dollars. That is here. That starts off there. The 501. There's a couple of different ones going up into the the higher range on that. But what I do like about that is just the fact that you can use it as a monitor, but it's got that side view that you can close it up and use it as an electronic viewfinder.
Interesting.
So because that's a lot of the things you want to put it on your
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of money, though.
top.
Hello, Jeff. You know, we have to adjust his medications. He freezes like that every so often. Let's put some music on for him. See if he comes back. Oh, he left. Well, he'll come back to some music. And he's trying to come back. He's in the Elysian Fields right now. You can hear the Elysian Field music. Will he make it back? It's very nice in the Elysian Fields. Oh, I think he saw Linda Carter up there in the Elysian Fields. It's over. He won't be back. Let's see if we can bring... Oh, we lost the Elysian Fields. Oh, here they come. They're back.
Oh, here we come. Still back.
Ah, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, I've
there
never
he
left.
goes. Well, while you were gone, I told everybody you were in the Elysian Fields searching for Linda
Yes.
Carter.
Well, that's right. My thing's on, but I can't see you for some reason. So there must be some big things with Skype because everything else was working my end. It's just didn't like that. Here we go.
We just had the
I'm back.
interdimensional creature come in and out. See that?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's becoming a bit worrying with Skype lately because I've noticed not just us.
Well,
there's
no,
been a few other shows that's.
I think your government has screwed you totally over by adding the WiMAX to your city. Ever since it gave you a ton of bandwidth, it doesn't work.
Well, that's right. Yes, I was going on just under 5 down and not even 1 up, and it seemed to work okay for that. So
Wow. And now you've got 35 and whatever, and it doesn't work.
But even then, I find when it does that, I check. I've still got the bandwidth. Everything else comes in fine except Skype. So
That's weird.
I,
Oh, there's that Elysian Field music again. I think
Yes,
Linda Carter is beckoning you.
Have you also seen that other thing? Probably going off subject a little bit, but with you do have there is the YouTube Red.
YouTube Red. Now, what is that? The 4K video?
No. What that is YouTube's subscription version. They're charging you $10 a month for unlimited access to Google Music and ad-free YouTube. So you don't get any of the ads, but you pay $10 a month for it. And you can also they allow you click on it and download all the content to watch offline.
Interesting. That
As
could
well,
be
but
good.
it's only available in America. But as you and I've seen from that other one, it seems to you seem to get things knocked off your thing a little bit more than you did before. So if you show something, it'll lock it out and that. But that's due to, I think, that YouTube Red. But we better not say too much because we won't put our videos on at all.
That's right. You know, it's interesting. You can now put podcasts, audio podcasts, on the Google Play Store.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. You know, Google a couple of weeks was down for 3 whole hours, and they deny it. Nobody could get to it. It was just but they said, "What? Nope, don't look over here. No problem here," and they were down. So, and then they were down again earlier. I think that same week. They're having some issues, but they're not talking about it. And I do wonder how much of that is cybercrime or attacks or whatever. They don't talk about it. Interesting.
Yeah, well, I just hope this doesn't keep happening to me because I hate it when I keep dropping out and that. So, and as I said, I wouldn't mind so much if the bandwidth did drop down too, but that doesn't seem to be. Everything else works. It's just the Skype doesn't. But now it's come back. It seems to be excellent quality picture coming through at the moment. So
that's so weird.
okay, we can't. figure that one. But those
Yeah.
monitors, if you ever get to look at them, it's something to drool over. But
They look nice.
They're that expensive, so it's not something I'm going to just run out and get. But
now, how big were they screen wise?
screen size probably just a bit bigger than your Note 5. That one there that was
you're
shown
kidding.
there to fit. Yeah, so about that sort of size, but a bit thicker and much higher resolution.
It's a lot of money for a 5 or 6 inch screen.
Yeah, it is, but it was I think for the higher end professional person, it does a lot more than just the viewing side. And it for showing your shorts of your film through the camera, but just putting a little bit of processing in it as well. But for the likes of us, just to monitor your camera, probably a bit excessive. But hey, if you've got the extra money, it is an excellent quality view on that.
It is a toy. It is a toy.
Yes, that's right. So.
We have another video for the small. Shall we show it?
Yeah, see if I can crash my
If you can
side
see this
again.
one,
So
yeah.
It seems to crash every time we watch a video.
Now, is this one also 1800?
No, this is much dearer.
Dearer. Oh no. You know, Geoff, I'm getting an idea.
Yes.
Okay, that was interesting. Big deal. Okay, I'm getting an idea.
You do
know,
what I do sometimes. Yeah, that's a monitor. That's enough.
They wasn't doing enough. If we could put an attachment on this, HDMI it into the camera, and put a little hood man over it, you now have a viewfinder. That would be cheaper than that thing.
And they can do it because the DJI not the Ronin, the Inspire and the what's the other one, the drones.
Yes,
they have a cord coming out from their remote control that plugs into your iPhone or your Android phone to monitor the feed coming from the camera.
Interesting.
So they use it as that. So it's an HDMI out from the controller, which shows a 720p vision of what the camera's seeing. So you can do a live view on that. So if they can do that through their drones, you surely can do it on you should be able to get a camera and the accessory from the HDMI on a camera to your phone.
That might be an interesting one to prototype and see if we can develop that.
Because that other one, as you said, you've got your nice phone there, and that last one we was just showing, the 720, that starts at $2,300 here. So, so that's just
I mean, that costs more than this camera and the lens. Well, not quite, but almost. This camera and the lens. So we're talking 800, 2,700 for this two no, plus the 200 more, 2,900. And you get a monitor for 23. I'll take the camera, lens, and the battery grip.
Well, I was also sold out there this week. They're talking about the Canon C300. They've got a new model out of that this week.
Yeah, I heard it's on sale. It's almost down to 20,000 or something like that.
just loose change, isn't it? So
it's a deal, and it does 4K video. I think, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, but only 25 and 29. No,
I know.
50 and 60.
I know.
That's what they're complaining about.
Well, how dare you? How dare you question Canon on the wisdom of their pricing? I mean,
well, that's right.
You're not implying that a lousy little micro four thirds camera like the GH4 could shoot better than that, are you? Even though in reviews it does. Scary.
Yeah, they're doing excellent quality, and as I said, I'm moving a lot to my Panasonic one, the Micro Four Thirds. So they're just such an excellent camera because they're lightweight and they do a lot of the things that the others can do. But I must admit, I still love the feel and the size of the proper Canon. Though I still like that, and with the better lenses and that. So anyway, that's what keeps all these people going. Is people like us just keeping the love going.
Yep, that's true. So what else do we have today?
We got some screenshots.
We have some screenshots. Is that small stuff again? Yep. Oh, we don't have
If you do, also what I did have on my little list for if you haven't got anything there was I don't know if you've seen your Lightroom, but as I said, the Adobe Lightroom, there was supposed to be
right.
putting back the import things back there because they messed that up a little bit more. But I've been watching also in the week was a lot of the Adobe Max videos, and it's been quite interesting to see all the little integration between your tablets and your computer and on all the different things they're working on. It's been quite excellent with all you do something on your iPad and you go to your desktop, it's all saved in the cloud and you can continue it on your PC. So I thought they're really doing quite a good job on that, but it's well worth looking if anybody's got the time to go through all the Adobe Max videos. You can get quite a lot of interesting things out of there. One that interested me, that might interest you, was the Muse update that will be coming.
Yes.
I don't know when it is, but they've put the responsive flow on it, similar to Captivate.
Yes. Well, no, Captivate is not responsive. It's adaptive.
Adaptive. Well, this is the adaptive and responsive, I think.
Okay.
So in the Muse, like Muse, you have to have 3 different sites.
Right.
Whereas this one, you can do the same as you do in Captivate, adjust the one and just have the one site.
Sure.
So that's interesting to me because always wanted to do that with the website, but will really make a big difference to that. So
it will.
I'm looking
It'll
forward to the
cool.
changes coming on that.
Yeah, that'll be nice to see. I have heard some interesting rumors that Adobe has moved all engineering over to India.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was already there. So
No. All the big money-making products were still here.
Oh,
but
okay.
in their great wisdom, they've moved all their other products.
Oh, well.
Good luck.
See, if as long as they do well, that's fine. But I mean, it's.
But history has
driven by-
proven us otherwise.
But then,
Bug City.
until there's somebody else out there that sort of competes with all the things.
Well, yeah. Maybe Corel, maybe Autodesk. Some of them have to.
It's at the moment though the things like when they've just got it down pat because there are a lot of alternatives to Photoshop, but it's like when we're saying about cameras going in to do a shoot, people expect certain things. So yes, the Corel might do exactly what people want, but they say no, I'm trained in Corel. So well, no, we won't give you a job, but if you're trained in Photoshop, yes,
Right.
that'll be
I know.
the thing to do. So.
Though
as long as they keep up with
90% of the graphic artists are out of work anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, that's where it's good. What we do, we're the jack of all trades. We just don't concentrate on one area. We can move on to different areas.
That's right. We're the bunny rabbits of flexibility.
That's right. Yes, it keeps us going. So.
Well, Geoff, we are at the end of our show. 50 shows. This
50
wasn't
shows.
easy. We've had hardware issues, Skype issues. It's amazing how many little issues you can have trying to do a show. But we
right.
prevail. We prevail, and we're here. Now, I did actually like this. So that's the music for you looking for Linda Carter in the Elysian Fields.
Yes, that's
I
right.
like that. That's a good image. You have the white shirt on today, so you're ready. It's like a white tunic.
Yes.
So, yes, folks, today was the 50th episode. We almost lost Geoff to the Elysian Fields, but he's back without Linda. So he's going to have to go back in and get Linda out. It's kind of like an episode of Hercules with Aeolus, and that was Kevin Sorbo. I love that series. That's another good series. Did you ever watch that one?
Never got into that one.
Oh.
It's a bit like Xena Warrior Princess.
Yes, I watched that too.
Either. Never got into either of
I
them.
heard
So.
she's from New Zealand. She was living in Thousand Oaks for a while, I heard. So
Well, I
very
think it
close
was
to
all
us.
filmed in New Zealand. All that. I
Yes.
think that was all
Yeah.
done in New Zealand. So.
Yeah, it was a fun show. There was a lot of satire in that show. And Kevin Sorbo did a good job on it.
Well, didn't he do that? Wasn't he doing that science fiction one as
He
well?
did.
Farscape. Did he Farscape? Was it?
No, it wasn't Farscape. It was a different one.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the name of it. Was it Farscape? He was the captain. He was okay. That wasn't a great show.
I think it was Farscape on that one. So
I couldn't get into that one too much.
No, I was just commenting to somebody else who was a series I got recently was one of the Gene Roddenberry ones, not so well-known ones. And I thought, gee, this was good. It was about the whole series, things with about 25 or 30 discs for about $30. And I suddenly found out why it was so cheap.
Oh, wait a minute. Was that one where the aliens invade Earth?
If the final conflict
Yes.
or something, yes. I couldn't.
I watched about 4 or 5 of those, and it was bizarre.
I forced myself to watch a whole season, and I thought, I hate this. Is it going to get any better? And I even went as far as lending it to somebody. And you know how sometimes when you lend DVDs, they never come back. This one came back. I thought, oh, and
That's really bad. That's really bad.
It is. I know they do a lot of work in some of these things and do a very good job, but that one was one that should never have seen the light of day, I don't think. So, anyway.
Yep. Well, we are at the end of our 50th show, the 51st show, the 51th show. That's good English.
Yeah,
the
that's
51st
right.
show is looming, and it'll be looming here next week.
Maybe
So,
not, because I think I'm working next Saturday. So,
like I said, the 51st show will be here the week after next, and we will see you then. Have a good
Okay.
one, everyone, and remember to
Awesome.
subscribe, like us. Don't dislike us because it makes us very down and depressed, though. If you don't like us, that's your problem. So watch the show, enjoy it, and have a good time. We will see you in 2 weeks or 1. You never know. We'll see you soon enough. Have a good one, Geoff. We'll see you
Bye.
next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
bye-bye.